This Bellows Falls Union High School sports broadcast is brought to you by Falls Area Community Television, serving Southern Vermont and Keene, New Hampshire. We would also like to thank the community members who donated, making this broadcast possible. If you would like to have continued coverage of high school sports and other local events in your town, then go to fact8.com and click the donation button. This broadcast will begin shortly. The Bellows Falls Union High School Booster Club needs your support. Check out their Facebook page to get updates.
Bellows Falls, ever glorious. Bellows Falls, to you we sing. Bellows Falls, ever victorious. Your praises ever ring. On the field of conflict, we will fight for the right. We'll be loyal ever to the purple and the white.
This Bellows Falls Union High School sports broadcast is brought to you by Falls Area Community Television, serving Southern Vermont and Keene, New Hampshire. We would also like to thank the community members who donated, making this broadcast possible. If you would like to have continued coverage of high school sports and other local events in your town, then go to fact8.com and click the donation button. This broadcast will begin shortly. The Bellows Falls Union High School Booster Club needs your support. Check out their Facebook page to get updates.
Good evening and welcome to Hadley Field on the campus of Bellows Falls Union High School. I'm Joe Brooks here with Nate Haskell for tonight's Connecticut River Valley matchup between the two rivals of Bellows Falls Union High School's Terriers and the Springfield Cosmos. Nate, what are we looking for tonight?
You know, Joe, I think we're going to have the same kind of thing that we've seen from Bellows Falls all season is, ground and pound. Why take it out of somebody's hands who scores 5 touchdowns in a week like Bazin did last week? That wasn't a home game. But, Springfield's coming in here also 3-0,
Yes.
off a good win last week against Windsor.
They beat Windsor last week. Yep.
And, I had an opportunity to talk to Coach Aiken a little bit today, and, he's looking at it as every play, compete every single play and work as hard as they can and have an opportunity, maybe when the fourth quarter rolls around today. They have some nice pieces and parts over there.
You want to be hanging around. If they can hang around, you never know what happens in a football game. So. Yeah, for Bellows Falls, you mentioned it. Jaden Bazin last week, 5 touchdowns up on the Canadian border. So that's a pretty outstanding effort for the kid. I know he had again second time this season. He took the first play from scrimmage for a long touchdown. Finally got a kick return that he broke off for a touchdown. I think it was the opening kickoff of the second half. You watch the game and you can just see the strength. You watch any of the highlights from it, and you can just see the strength that Bazin has when he finishes runs or players try to tackle him. If they go high on him at all, they just bounce off of him. So you can just tell the kid's putting in a ton of extra work outside on his own, just making himself stronger, and he's definitely been taught to run through tackles. I know that's something that you guys teach at that Pee Wee level, so he's certainly learned that.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to coach him at the Pee Wee level, so that was pretty fun. But again, we've talked about it from day one with this BF team, and it's everyone. Starts with the big guys up front, and Leasai's leadership behind, running under center, and James again with the senior leadership with Tostrup and these guys that have just battled, time and time again on this field, and they'll hopefully, for them, put one together tonight.
And it's definitely worth noting that offensive line you mentioned. At this point, you got to imagine they're about the best in the state. I mean, that combination of Perry and Ernst on the outside with Lovell, Jocelyn, and Rumroll taking up the interior. I mean, the strength, the power that they have to finish off these runs. We're seeing Bazin, Connors get to the second level before contact on, 70% of the plays. I mean, you can't give these guys enough credit for what they've done so far. I didn't see the game last week. I've heard you talk about it, but I'm assuming it was much of the same, where it was just clean holes, clean line, getting through the second level, and then the running backs are already full head of steam, and we've seen the plays they can make once they're in open space.
Yeah, like you said, we talked about it in the U32 game a little bit. 10 guys in the box and 10 guys in the box, but everybody's too close to the line of scrimmage. So by the time, guys are getting hands on them at 7, 8, 9 yards down the field, and it's just not going to cut it. I hope that, Coach Aiken, who's been here for a long time in this program, he's battled some really ups and downs, but, he's worked really hard and done a great job with these guys. And, I hope that they can compete tonight. Two teams that are 3-0, and you never know what can happen.
Another name I'd like to bring up, he doesn't start on the offensive line, but he fills in on the defensive line. He's made a ton of plays. That's this Connor Perry. He's made a lot of plays on the defensive line for this team. Had an interception a couple weeks ago in the U32 game. I know a lot of the other guys are pulling double duty, but Perry has such acceleration and such speed out of that defensive end spot. What can you tell me about what you know about that kid?
Yeah, I think tonight's another one of those nights. We kind of talked about it a little bit in the pregame. If we don't say Connor Perry's name 20 times tonight, I'll probably be surprised. With the speed and probably what Springfield's going to want to do with Martinez and Jasinski to try to get to the outside a little bit. If you're going his way, you're probably not going to get too many yards that way. And, as we've seen him, week in and week out, just blow through guys and make it look easy.
Yeah, absolutely. From the Springfield side, you mentioned they have a couple good players. Quarterback Wilson has 6 combined touchdowns this year, 4 passing, 2 on the ground. Josiah Martinez, their running back, has 5 combined touchdowns this year. I believe it's 4 rushing and a defensive touchdown. They have a great defensive player, Dimitri Jasinski, who I've read online. The coach lists as just a tackler, a playmaker, and is absolutely everywhere. So what do you know about any of these kids from what Coach Aiken has told you?
Yeah, like you said, they're playmakers, but, as he said, play every play as it comes and see what happens. And, they're not 3-0 for no reason. Their offensive line has played good. Their tackling has been good. Their defense has played good. Coach has done a really good job over there with getting guys in the right place to make plays. And, tonight's one of those nights where you're just going to need something probably special to happen to pull off some sort of upset here at Hadley Field, because, I think we start to look at, now with where Bellows Falls is, Joe, and I think, people don't really realize how good they are.
Right.
And scoring, outscoring their opponents 83-0 in the first half of their games this season is pretty impressive.
That's wild. And I think it's like 134-20 overall for the season, like total games, which is just wild. And you're right. I mean, they're 3-0. And, some people may say, oh, it's because they dropped down to Division III. 2 of those 3 wins are against Division II programs.
Yeah, they are. Yep.
So it really hasn't mattered who you're running out there in front of them. They're ready to go. And I think to them it doesn't matter who's in front of them. They're ready to go play ball. They know they're prepared, and that's a big thing to know as a coach, to know that your kids are prepared. But on the same note, Nate, we've seen some mistakes and stuff, so we know they haven't played the perfect game yet. So that's something Coach is still coaching up.
Yeah, you will see tonight. I did talk to Coach Trudley a little bit again, still trying to clean up those penalties and, play that kind of perfect game.
Yep. All right, I think we're getting ready for the homecoming ceremonies here, so we'll check back as the game starts.
Nice job, man.
Person's race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, national origin, ethnic differences, disability, citizenship, and immigration status. Any violation on the field or in the stands can result in game stoppages, ejection, or forfeit. For the full statement, use the QR code on the roster sheet for today's contest. Let's work together to ensure a positive, supportive, and healthy learning environment for everyone involved, and have a great game, and good luck to both teams. And ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and remove your hats as Bellows Falls Union High School marching band under the direction of James Pescott plays our national anthem.
Welcome back. Well, Nate, looks like we're getting ready to, Bellows Falls going to receive the ball here. I missed the coin toss at the beginning, but...
Yeah, I think Springfield deferred to the second half.
So Springfield will kick off. We've got Bazin and Connors deep for the Terriers here. A couple of 3-0 schools, the 112th meeting between the two, Nate. Bellows Falls holds a career record of 63, 45, and 3 over them, including 14 straight in the series.
Yeah, it's been a little lopsided. I think Springfield's hoping to come out here and make a little bit of a statement early tonight, but the Terriers have owned the trophy for a long time now, and again, Springfield's going to have to pull something out perfect tonight to make that happen for them, I think.
Now, have they continued playing year after year, even though they were in separate divisions? I know
it's always been a game that they've played, and
very cool.
They've kept this rivalry, something that's been good for the communities both. As we can see, a great crowd tonight.
Absolutely, it's packed out here. The ball's kicked out of bounds at about the 18-yard line, so the Terriers are going to start up near midfield here with their first possession. So not a great start for the Cosmos, who are looking to play a great game.
You mentioned in the pre-show, Joe, that Bellows Falls says that at Bazin go to the house, 2 out of 3 games this year already. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a handoff to Bazin to start the game tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, the odds seem to be in the favor. So starting for the Terriers, we got Cam Perry at left tackle.
Terriers are going to have the Cosmos re-kick.
Oh, we're going to have a re-kick here. So I'll wait on the starting lineup.
Which would make sense with having Connors and
Basin,
Basin back in the back there. You could easily take one, not easily, but, could take one to the house. And
there's big play potential back there.
as we saw last week, with Basin's 73-yard kick return. And we've seen numerous punts that have been taken, even though he's had some called back,
30, 40, 50 yards easily.
Basin's hovering around that 300 yards total per game every week.
Yep.
Connors is right up there with them too.
Absolutely.
It's not, it's not just a one person show back there. And the one thing I love about the Terriers, they just continue to support each other in that way. So it doesn't matter whose night it is.
Right. Yeah, I think the last game we did together, Connors had 3 scores, and then Basin has 5. So they're just kind of splitting it up. And the ball's caught by Basin about the 24-yard line. He takes it straight up the middle. It's going to be about a 19-yard gain. Basin's going to be tackled about the 44-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Terriers at the 44. Starting for the Terriers is Cam Perry at left tackle, Ben Rumrow at left guard, Stevie Joslin at center. We got Brockton Lovell at right guard, Rylan Ernst at right tackle, Jake Tostrup at tight end, Guyette's the split end with Lisa at quarterback, James Basin and Connors in the backfield behind him.
Yeah, so again, I would be a little surprised if Lockerbie doesn't go right to the well here and see what he can get out of it.
Absolutely. Lisa behind center, 1st and 10 for the Terriers. Oh, it's going to be reversed to Guyette. Not sure I've seen this play yet this year from the Terriers, and he's going to have, I think he has about 8 or 9 yards on that reverse there.
Yeah,
little razzle-dazzle, Nate.
Yeah, we've talked about Goyette's speed, and if he gets to the outside, he can definitely make things happen.
That does look like he got enough for the first down there.
Very good IQ and very good football player.
Yeah, that was a great play. We haven't seen that yet, so get the kid involved early. You can see a little over pursuit already from Springfield, who is, like we've talked about all season, they're just loading the box up here. With Lisa behind center, James Basin and Connors behind him. This is going to be a handoff to Connors right up the right side. Connors breaks free, gets tackled at about the 11-yard line. He went right up the right guard there. It looked like he split a nice hole between Jocelyn and Lovell there on the right side.
Yeah, you've mentioned it before, Joe. By the time anybody gets a hand on them, they already have 6 yards. And that's one of the things that BF just will continue to do time and time again.
Absolutely explosive play there, and like you just mentioned, he got to the second level real fast. And as soon as the backs get the ball, they're exploding through, and that's with the confidence they have that they're going to be getting up to a line that's doing a great job.
Yeah, the speed and the power, and again, it's every position. They're a well-oiled machine here.
Yep. So first and 10 on about the 12-yard line. So the Terriers can get a first down without a touchdown here. Lisa behind center. This one goes to Basin straight up the middle. We're going to have a flag on the play here. 3 yards on the play if it stands. Indicative holding, it looks like, for the Terriers.
Yeah, which, as we know, we just talked about, this is one of those things that the coaches really have tried to clean up for these guys, and for some programs, 5 to 7 penalties a game doesn't seem like a lot, but for this program it is. Discipline and understanding and valuing what you're supposed to be doing and how to do it in the right way is just something they take a lot of pride in. So
the small things they don't do absolutely stand out because of how well they perform on so many other levels. It's easy to be like, oh, well, they're not quite doing that as well because everything else is so exceptional. So it does, it's a small thing on a lot of fields, you're correct. But for them, it's something they want to correct. With Lisi behind center again, we got 1st and 20, about the 23-yard line here. Long snap here from Lisi. He's going to hand it off to Connors off the right side. That's going to be off the right side there. Looked like it went off the right guard, right tackle, so that's going to be, looked like a nice little hole there by Lovell and Ernst on the right side.
Yeah, Bellows Falls is one of those teams where it's, 1st and 20, 1st and 25. It doesn't matter to them. They're going to continue to try to do what they do, and, they're just going to pound it at you.
Yep. If they, make 4 or 5 yards, then make another 4 or 5 yards, make another 4 or 5, you can keep being in play. And, they didn't want to go backwards here, but they do have the playmakers on offense to make it up. So we'll see if they can execute here. 2nd and 17. Terriers down inside the 20-yard line now. Connors goes in motion behind Leaside. The handoff's going to be off the left side here to Bazin. Bazin's going to meet some. Bazin's still pushing. He's going to end up with about 7 or 8 yards there after contact, about 2 or 3 yards there. Strong run by Bazin.
Yeah, hit at the line of scrimmage and still gets another 7 or 8 yards. And, now you're right back into, third and 8, very manageable for Bellows Falls, especially down here.
Well, they're thinking 4 downs. They want 6 here.
And this is one of those things where I know it's early in the game and the game has just started, but the ability for Bellows Falls' power up front could just wear you out in a hurry.
Absolutely. Leaside behind center, 3rd and 7. James behind him with Bazin as the deep man. It's going to be an option out here to Jaden Bazin on the right side. Great pitch by Leaside. Bazin with a stiff arm, and he's going to go into the end zone. Nice little option play there, Nate. We saw a couple different plays on that opening drive with the reverse and the option there.
Yeah, again, as you watch that play back, Joe, the blocking on the outside, just tremendous. It's these guys, Goyette to get his man and to be where they need to be, and everybody pins down and pulls and does what they need to do, and
I think we had
they
Tostrup
make it look easy.
I think Tostrup was on the right side there as well. So I think between Ernst and Lovell and Tostrup, that's going to be a big play. And Bazin goes in for the 2 points there, so we're going to have 8-0. So that's a change from the last time we were together, Nate, where Bellows Falls missed a few kicks and didn't get any of their 2-point conversions. So that's going to make the coaching staff happy to execute on the special teams there.
Yeah. Yep. Again, the one little mishap with the penalty. Other than that, this is what we've become accustomed to here. Not even a 3-minute drive after a nice kick return from Bazin. It's Bellows Falls, and it's just so hard to stop when a team can just put that kind of power and beef up front and just be able to just blow you backwards. 1st and
20, most teams are thinking, okay, there's got to be a pass in here to get this, and Bellows Falls, it didn't phase them at all. It's not going to stop what they want to do on offense. They know if they execute their game plan that they're going to get where they need to be.
This would be a big, and again, you don't want to say, hey, this is a big possession, but if you don't get good starting field position and you have to punt, and Bellows Falls gets good field position, so it's kind of a big possession here for Springfield. I know it's only the first one.
Oh, absolutely.
But to get a couple of first downs, to try to get some momentum and get themselves in a position to be able to pin BF back or get a score of their own.
Jocelyn's kickoff is received by the up man for the Cosmos. Let's see, number 15 is Nicholas Villamayer. Picked up about 6-7 yards on that on the kickoff by Jocelyn. So defensively, the Terriers come out in their traditional front here. Lovell and Jocelyn starting out there at the defensive tackles with Connor Perry out there as well. Pat Connors, Stephen James. Jake Tostrup out there as well.
Spread formation for the Cosmos, trying to catch the Terriers off guard.
They like to run the quick stuff here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some quick draws, some quick handoffs. But the thing is Perry. That was a tackle right away by Connor Perry. Perry's in the backfield so much this year that you got to run the quick stuff, otherwise he's taking the handoff from you.
Yeah, and even on that same side of the field that Perry's on is Tostrup, in on that tackle as well, and it's. Going back and even watching some film a little bit from these past couple of weeks, we don't get to mention everybody's name all the time, but even last week, the last time we were here, Tostrup and Saul James had played a really nice game at safety for the Terriers.
I mean, defensively, you honestly don't say Lovell's name or Connor's name much on the left side. It's almost like teams plan to run the opposite way and go away from them. That ball's up in the air. It's through the hands of both Goyette and number 5. I don't have number 5's name for the Terrier or for the Cosmos there, but
Goyette put himself in a great position to pick that thing off. I think he got a little antsy and jumped a little early.
Yeah, he definitely was in position to make that play there and played the ball well.
Yeah, and we've continued to talk about it. The pass defense has always been something that Bellows Falls has had a problem with, and this year we haven't seen him have a problem with it once.
No, absolutely not. He's actually been quite fantastic on the outside.
Yeah.
He's batted down multiple balls. I think he gave up one catch in the Windsor game on the last. It wouldn't have even been him. He would have been out by then because it was his last play of the game. So I'm not sure I've seen him give up anything out there. Tostrup and number 30 Connor Perry here on the left side make the play there. Tostrup took the lead blocker out of play, which freed up Perry to come in there and just swipe him out. That's already the second time for Perry.
Yeah, and they're on the right side of the defense, and that toss went the other way from them, and and they're just going to continue to be a problem.
Absolutely. So 4th and 9 here for the Cosmos. Looks like they're lined up to punt the ball here. For the Cosmos, number 22, Dmitry Jasinski will be back to punt deep for Jaden Bazin to receive it for the Terriers.
Who, as we know, can change this game in a hurry.
We've seen a lot of big plays in the punt return game out of Bazin. That one's going to be away from him here.
That's a great
good
directional
Cosmos
punt.
roll, absolutely. It shows up on film that Bazin can make plays in the special teams game, and so you want to kick it away from him if you can.
And that's one of the good coaching aspects I like from Coach Aiken and his staff over there is, look, you're going to have to punt. There's going to be times where you got to get the ball down there, but having a punter with good IQ, Jasinski, to kick the ball with some good bounce and to get it away from where Bazin's at. It all matters. If
absolutely.
It's, 10, 15 yards of field position, can matter some, at the same time.
Absolutely.
At the same time, it also leaves your defense out there to get pounded by the Terriers a little more.
Terriers come to the line, 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Leaside behind center, hands it to the wingman, Pat Connors. Connors out here with lead blocker, Jaden Bazin on the outside. Also freed up with Stephen James out here leading the way, and Jacob Tostrup out in front of him as well. That's a terrific run of about 15, 18 yards for Pat Connors there. Nice little sweep play. Great movement on the guys on the outside, picking up their guys and making things happen.
Yes, and Springfield's in a good position. They've had good positioning in defense. Since this, in a little bit since this has started, and it's just again. The stiff arms and the power and the running ability of the Terriers, just one guy isn't going to bring you down. An arm tackle's not going to bring you down. So Springfield's got to buckle down and wrap up and make sure they get that first tackle.
B-side behind center, 1st and 10 here. Going to go right to the up man, Stephen James. Stephen James goes right up the middle. And he's going to pick up, about 9 yards there on that play. Stephen James going right off the center right guard there. Nice hole open by Jocelyn and Lovell for James, who immediately made contact to the middle linebacker, powered through him, and picked up an additional 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, James has been very impressive. I know he doesn't get his name in the paper as much as Bazin and Connors, but man, he's the guy. He's the guy that starts it all off up there.
He's absolutely steady out there. He picks up 7, 8 yards every time he touches it, and he lead blocks so well. And he's played a nice season for the Terriers this year as a senior for the team. Lee Signer center, hands it to the deep man, Bazin. Bazin breaks a tackle at about the 3-4 yards downfield, picks up another 9-10 yards, and he's got another first down for the Terriers.
These are punishing runs, Joe.
Yeah, Jaden Bazin is just absolutely running right through people, and he's the first guy's not bringing him down.
And as we continue to watch this, halfway through the first quarter here, there's not a lot of substitutions from the Springfield coaching staff over there. So as we've seen with Windsor and even U32, you just get beat down in a hurry against the power of the Terriers' offensive line and Bazin and James.
Absolutely, and they're just all powerhouses who keep going. Connors on the counter there, slips and falls after about 3 or 4 yards there. He was led by Lovell out there on the outside. Connors looked like he was trying to cut back there, Nate, but he lost his footing a little bit there.
Yeah, a little slick after the monsoon we've had the last couple of days.
It's true. Had he made the cutback there, he did have Brockton Lovell out there with him, who was ready to take that guy out on the cutback, and he might have had another 5-6 yards on that play.
Yeah, and again, we've seen Connors burst to speed, so that's one of those where if he breaks that first tackle, you might not be able to catch him.
Absolutely not. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, but man, these offensive linemen are athletes in multiple ways for this Terriers team. I know they, a bunch of them kick and stuff, but they're constantly out here pulling and everything like that, and they don't get tired.
Yeah,
it's absolutely wild.
Yeah, we've had that talk some about, how many football players do you have when you actually put the equipment on, and Bells Falls has so many real football players, and it's tough to combat that.
Absolutely, and kids that just absolutely love the game and want to improve and work on their own to get better. That speaks volumes to the program that's been built here to have your kids working on their own outside to get better, just to just to perform better on the field.
Yeah, right. Kudos to the Connecticut Valley Pee Wee League and the coaches that have been around there for a long time. And I had the opportunity to play for my dad and coach kids down there, and it's just an amazing program.
Lisi under center with the pitch back to Connors. Connors out here. He's got Jaden Bazin and Stephen James out wide with him, and Tostrup leading the way. Looks like he's going to have enough for the first down there. I think he picked up about 12 yards on the carry. Well, you got to give Springfield some credit in this aspect, Nate. They haven't really been beaten by the big play. We talked about Bazin taking the first play of the house a couple times this season. You and I have seen plenty of 50, 60-yard runs out of this Terriers team. I know they're getting chunk plays that most teams would consider chunk plays, but Springfield is, in a way, slowing them down out here. Yeah,
and that was, one of Coach Aiken's point of emphasis was, compete every single play. Yep. With the Springfield timeout right now, it just makes me wonder if, this is one of those times where, Coach is trying to get his guys a breath. Because as we've seen and we know what can happen is, if Bellows Falls scores a touchdown here, and a couple more possessions in the first half, that the guys are just going to be worn out, yes. and you don't. It's a hard thing in high school football is, like Bellows Falls can do with the defensive line position is you can rotate Perry and Joslin and Ernst and Rumroll, and every other play you can put a fresh guy in if you want to at that nose position.
And you don't have that big a fall off from one to the other.
And not a lot of teams can do that. Like I said, Coach Aiken hasn't had an opportunity to sub anybody yet today, and we know what this can entail halfway through the second quarter when it's those big plays are just going to come back and get you.
Absolutely. Lisi under center with Connors in motion here, 1st and 10. Terriers on, looks like the 10-yard line even. Bazin with a great cutback at about the 5-yard line. He's going to go in for 6, for his second score of the game. Looks like Stephen James led the way. He went right off the right side there between the center, Joslin, and the right guard level. Huge hole, then made the guy miss right at about the 5-yard line, and then just overpowered a guy at the goal line.
Yeah, they've been running behind Joslin a lot to start the game out tonight, and clearly it hasn't hindered anything the Terriers want to do because Joslin is very good football player. And again, this is just one of those things we said, initial contact at the line of scrimmage, and Bazin, ran through him for...
Lisi rolling out, and he hits Stephen James for the 2-point conversion. So great job by the special teams tonight so far for the Terriers.
Yeah, everything seems to be working. This is, not the way that Coach Aiken wanted to start. But again, weather the storm. It's a very emotional game. Again, unbelievable crowd here at Bellows Falls today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is just one of those things where they have to manufacture something on this drive. Again, you hate to think that the first quarter is a make or break. It is.
It's getting there now. Absolutely. You've run 3 offensive plays.
If you don't get a productive drive here, and even if it's a punt, but a first down, another first down, something to give yourself a little bit of confidence at that end, and you got to run your defense back out there. It's just going to be big problems for the Cosmos.
Especially with we've talked about it all night now, the power of that offensive line. Like, they're licking their chops if it's another 3 and out right now to get out there and just run. So this is huge for Springfield. They've got to come up with at least a first down or 2, if not a score, just to give their defense a break, which is a lot of the guys are going 2 ways here. Looks like Joslin's positionally kicking, and it sneaks out of bounds over there. I think he was trying to get it to an up man there, or squib it a little bit, but it just kind of took an extra little turn to the right.
Yeah, Joslin's done a great job with those placement kicks. He did a good job with it against U32 to keep it out of the deep man's hands.
Yeah, Knapp, right?
Yeah. He had those little squib kicks and little punch shots that allowed Bellows Falls to get down there. Recovered a fumble, I think, on one of them.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a nice little weapon to have if you can keep it out of the deep man's hands. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So the Cosmos are going to accept the penalty, so they're going to go 1st and 10, starting at the 35-yard line, trailing 16-0 here with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Terriers have, I believe you mentioned the stat is 83-0 so far prior to this game in the first half. So Springfield's looking to be that team to maybe get those first points against the Terriers in the first half. That's going to be a handoff to Martinez. Martinez is going to be met at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard for Martinez there. Joslin there on the tackle.
Yeah, the Cosmos have had a lot of success with that kind of stuff, you know, early in the season. And, you know, I think, I don't know what Coach Aiken has up his sleeve here with the staff, but some sort of misdirection or, you know, try to, again, we talk about this all the time. And this Bellows Falls team is just so well disciplined and do everything right. And
yeah, you like to think that maybe you could get over pursuit, but they don't tend to over pursue.
That's
right a wonderful play call. That's going to be out to 22. That's Dmitry Jasinski on the catch there. That's that initial first down. You got to pick up about 16, 17 yards there for Jasinski.
Yeah, this able for, you know, the coaching staff and the players on the field to take a deep breath and, you know, maybe relax a little bit.
That was a sneaky good play call, Nate.
Yeah, you know, just to spread them out a little bit and
sneak the fullback out kind of between three receivers.
Well, and you got to have you got to have the ability to throw the ball quick because you know on that backside that Perry and Tostrup are probably coming.
Yeah. So 1st and 10 on the Terriers half of the field now, 47-yard line of the Terriers for the Cosmos. Wilson under center, looking to throw again. Quick release there. He hits his target, picks up about 7 yards for the Cosmos, about a 7-yard pass can touch.
You know, these last two plays that have been productive for Springfield, the offensive line holding up. You know, giving Wilson that 3 seconds to throw the football.
Yeah.
You know, makes a big difference.
They look disciplined out here on offense, so they do have some playmakers. So you definitely don't want to let them get too much confidence if you're the Terriers here, but Springfield's looking to do the opposite. Wilson under center here with a 2nd and 3, fakes the handoff. Oh, that ball's caught by Jasinski, but it was nearly picked off by Goyette. Jasinski is going to get down to about the 1-yard line there on the play.
I think that was Saul James that tried to jump
that. Oh, that was Saul, okay.
He
nearly got it.
And this is what we just talked about. This is absolutely huge
for the Cosmos. The crowd is back into it on their side of the field, which, as you mentioned, they're lined up all up and down that fence tonight. I mean, I had to park on the other side of the parking lot here tonight, and I haven't had to do that all year.
You know, for the first time all year, it looks like, you know, maybe some hands on the hips for the Terriers, questioning, you know, hey, what do we got going on here? We got to step up.
Yeah, little spread them out, little quickness. A little different from what they've seen this year. They did see it a little with U32 when they played well. So they just got to make adjustments here.
Wilson's release has been outstanding so far on these short little pass plays.
Very accurate. Another little quick pass play here. Perry's chasing him. That ball's going to be intercepted by Pat Connors at about the 3-yard line. Connors makes Wilson miss, and he's off to the races. He's got Tostrup out there trying to lead the way. Connors is taking the ball all the way to the 2-yard line. Oh, that was about a 91-yard return right there for Patrick Connors, who got pulled down at the end. That was a huge momentum changer, and boy, he jumped that route.
He sure did. You know, James had just missed the one before, Joe, and, you know, I think on that one, you know, for Wilson, that may be one of those, hey, tuck it and go kind of plays. Like, I know the reads and the plays have been there the last 2-3 times, you know, but with James almost jumping the one here before that, that may have been one of those, hey, live to see another day plays and just, hey, I'm going to try to go for it.
Right, maybe throw it out of bounds there instead of trying to make that play. Credit to Pat Connors to making that play on that sideline, and then the explosion to basically go end zone to end zone here.
Nice.
Connors
quick turn of events there, but, you know,
first and
good job by the Cosmos.
It's going to be Jaden Bazin out here on the score, led by Stephen James and Goyette on the outside.
Yeah, we got a flag in the middle.
Oh, yep, good call, Nate. Second offensive holding inside the red zone tonight. So, you know, again, we're seeing a little bit of that sloppiness in certain places. So that's going to wipe 6 points off the score, which you know is going to frustrates any coach.
Yeah, I've been around Coach Lockerbie for a lot of years, and when he takes that hat off and runs his hand through his hair, you know you're probably in trouble on Monday when film comes around.
Yeah, you never want to take points off the board. We got 16-0 here. Terriers 1st and 12, or 1st and goal essentially from the 12-yard line.
You know, between the running out of the backfield and then the pick return by Connors is going to be close, probably to about 200 yards already in the first quarter.
Oh, absolutely. Leasai under center, rolling out to his left here, throwing the ball. Oh, that ball's knocked away. He was looking for Tostrup in the end zone. Knocked away nicely back there by the Cosmos. It was number 11 of the Cosmos knocking that ball away. That's Wilson, the quarterback. So 2nd and goal now for the Terriers.
You know, with the limited chances you have to throw the ball. Leaside did a great job. That was a great throw.
Absolutely.
Set his feet to get it out there. Good defensive play by the Cosmos in the end zone to break it up.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was a very catchable pass. If Tostrup gets that ball, he's making the play, but it's a great play by Wilson.
A little quicker release, but Leaside did a great job getting out there again.
Set his feet
for the 7, 8, 9 passes he's thrown the entire season, but good ball, good footwork to get out there and set his feet to make the pass.
James and Barnett shift to the right here, leaving Bazin alone deep in the backfield behind Leaside on 2nd and 12. Bazin's going to get the ball. He goes off the right guard, between the right guard and right tackle there. Nice hole by Brockton Lovell and Rylan Ernst on that right side, freeing Jaden Bazin up to get down to the 1 yard line.
Yeah, lower, the pad level for Bazin at the end of the run, just to be able to stick those down and run somebody over. We talked about the wear and tear by the end of the game, and sometimes in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarters, those guys don't want to keep sticking their pads down there.
It gets tougher and tougher every time.
This is not an easy game.
When that score gets a little further and further, and you're getting hit and hit and hit, and it's getting harder and harder. It's a little tough.
And these guys for Bellows Falls don't seem to lose any steam.
And Leaside takes the sneak under center. And there's the signal from the judges, and he's in. He went right over the left side there between Stevie Jocelyn and Rumroll to get that quarterback sneak in there for his touchdown. I think that's his 4th rushing touchdown of the season this year.
Yeah, Leaside's loving all these plays down to the 2 yard line and getting these push touchdowns. But again, he's the leader of that offense. He's the leader of that huddle, and he does a great job managing all that. And it's nice to give him a little bit, since the 1 or 2 passes he gets to throw every week. It can be kind of tough.
Doesn't get to show off his full skill set, but he's a tremendous leader out there, and you can tell he has absolute command of this offense. And Stephen James gets the ball, goes off the left guard there, and ends up scoring for 2. So 3rd 2-point conversion of the night for the Terriers. So 3 for 3 in that facet tonight.
So the quick turn of events, that was from 2-3 really nice plays by the Cosmos, a nice tackle at the 1 yard line.
Yep.
We thought maybe we'd see the first touchdown against the Terriers in the first half of the season, but Pat Connors, again, the IQ, the positioning. Again,
if I recall, Nate, Connors made the touchdown saving tackle too.
Yeah, yep, he sure did. And I think that's just, again, the continued IQ of this team where, hey, fool me once, you're not going to fool me again.
Yep.
And again, even to that, James probably had a fingertip on that pass,
yep,
or he was going to the house for 60-yard touchdown. So, Bellows Falls' ability to recognize and make adjustments especially in the passing game. Again, I know we kind of beat it into the ground a little bit, but I'm happy to see that facet of the game has changed for them and given them an opportunity
absolutely
to play better defense.
Yeah, I mean, not giving up big pass plays is huge, or being able to make adjustments in the passing game. Jocelyn with an absolute boot here. That one's down to the 10-yard line. It's gonna be slipped forward and fell down, so it's gonna be down at the 10-yard line now. That was a great boot by Jocelyn.
It was unfortunate. The runner for the Cosmos slipped on that.
Absolutely, he had a little bit of room there, and they certainly wouldn't be starting at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, we've seen some slipping tonight, which is not surprised. Like I said, with the
first rain we've had in a month.
The amount of rain that we received in the last day or two.
So we have 37 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 24-0 Terriers lead. So Springfield, it was going great last drive till it wasn't. So hopefully they can build off the positive momentum and maybe put together a couple more plays here. Wilson in the shotgun here again. 1st and 10 for the Cosmos. Wilson back to throw again. That's a deep throw. That's going to be caught out there by number 15. That's Villamere with a huge play for the Cosmos of about 35 yards.
Reed Hill on the coverage on that side of the field. Again, Reed has played really exceptional all season long, and seems to be having a little struggle tonight on that side of the field.
That was a terrific throw by Wilson. He threw that ball and threw it right over Hill's hands there.
I want to give kudos again to the Springfield offensive line. Normally by now Connor Perry's got 3 sacks or so, and tonight that doesn't seem to be the case.
Wilson on the quick hitter there.
See who we've got for the Cosmos on that catch here.
It's number 3 for the Cosmos. Number 3 for the Cosmos on the catch there. Picks up another first down. 1st and 10 for the Cosmos. End of the first quarter. So, there's some small victories Coach Aiken can talk about here at the end of this first quarter. They have found some ways to move the offense, which a lot of teams haven't against Bells Falls. There's still no first half points against the Terriers this year. We just saw the closest thing. As a coach, what are you telling your team here to try to get them to stay focused and try to dent into this?
Again, you just weather the storm. You're doing some nice things, right? You've moved the ball some. I got to think being on the coaching staff for the Cosmos that, Coach Dooley might dial up some blitzes or run a little something different here to try to get a little pressure on Wilson, who has had all day to throw the ball for the most part back there. So again, the offensive line for Springfield has been really good, and Wilson's release is good, and the unfortunate turnover at the goal line. If that's a touchdown, you got yourself a ball game right now.
Oh, absolutely.
So, it will be interesting to see how they come out here, and I will say, Joe, I don't know that throwing the ball 50 times tonight is probably going to be what the Cosmos want to do, but if it's working.
Exactly. They may not come in with that plan, but it might be something they go to now. Like you said, Wilson has looked nice. He's got a quick release. He's been accurate. He probably should have thrown the ball away down there on the goal line, but he's been efficient with what he's done out here.
Yeah, routes have been pretty crisp.
There's the little blitz pressure right there, but Wilson still gets it out. Great open field tackle by Goyette out there on the short little out pattern. It's going to be a pickup of about 2-ish yards, maybe a yard. Good backfield presence by Tostrup and Connors there.
Yeah, now this is one of those things we talked about against U32, what might be a big part of the game, right? Springfield makes the catch, first guy, first hit, first tackle, right? Not slip off 9 yards down the sideline, slip off 15 yards down the sideline. So the tackling, not overly great for Bells Falls there, but again, I'm really liking what the Cosmos are doing right now.
Yeah, they've got a nice little offensive strategy going here. 2nd and 10, so I guess no gain on that little out pattern there, but still a completed pass to kind of keep the rhythm of the offense going. Wilson back on the shotgun here. He's going to roll out left. Oh, he's pressured immediately. That ball's going to be knocked down by Jaden Bazin. That was, I believe, Pat Connors. Yeah, Pat Connors on the blitz there. Just untouched and got right in there.
Yeah, we just talked about it a couple minutes ago. I think Coach Dooley will start to dial up a few things, maybe especially if they're going to roll Wilson to the right since he's right-handed. Hey, we're going to blitz off the front side to make him,
it's right in his face.
Make him stop and commit to a bad throw, and that's where you start to force the ball a little bit. So,
which he did right there. That was a forced throw because he had the pressure in his face. He didn't complete his rollout. Bazin made a great play here on the outside. 3rd and 10 here for the Cosmos. I would assume, barring like a huge penalty or backwards play, this is probably 4-down territory for them, but I could be wrong. Wilson under center here, looking to throw the ball again. Good pressure again by the Terriers. He's got the ball out there. Oh, maybe a step too far for his receiver, but he had a man there.
There seems to be some miscommunication, hands going up by the Terriers over there, as well as the coaching staff on this side, but with another half second to throw that ball, that's a touchdown for the Cosmos. So, I think Bells Falls, with Stooley and Lockerbie and the coaching staff on the sideline, going to have to regroup a little bit. I praised the pass defense, week after week, and it's been a little suspect here to start with. But again, good for the Cosmos, playing well. Wilson's throwing the ball well.
And I was wrong here. They're going to punt it away here with Jasinski. Jasinski with a quick little punt this time. Tried to squib it down there. He's going to get another little Cosmos bounce. Going to be down right at the 21-yard line. So about a 20-yard punt this time. Again, positionally away from Bazin. Oh, there's a flag on this one, Nate.
The tough thing with a kick like that, Joe, is that you get guys that get downfield before the kick goes off sometimes.
Yep.
And that's you can get an ineligible man. Obviously,
because it was like a little rollout pooch punt there.
Yeah, they don't want to kick the ball to Bazin. I don't blame them.
Yeah, no, they're definitely avoiding Jaden. Wait for a little clarification here from the referee.
You know, if this is a holding.
Looks like we're going to have a personal foul on the Terriers on the return.
After the punt, so that'll be from the where the ball went out of bounds or
So,
down.
Down to about the 10-yard line then for the Terriers now, I guess. So I think it was down just outside the 20. So tough starting position here for the Terriers.
We look at the scoreboard, you know, with 10:52 to go in the second quarter, it's 24-0, but not very crisp out of the Terriers tonight.
No, absolutely not. The defense has had some holes. There's been some penalties. Special teams has been good, but some of the other places where they've needed to clean it up, either this season or in the past, are showing a little bit of slippage tonight.
Yeah, and back to the first week of the season when we had a couple of those personal fouls, that will not go over well with the staff come Monday or when film starts on Saturday. That, you know, those are just plays you can't have.
Absolutely. Leaside from the shotgun here. Quick handoff to Bazin. Bazin makes the guy tackle, or makes the guy miss.
I'm seeing we had a nice little pancake block here. That was
55? Was that Rummel who swung out there?
Jasinski with the tackle again. The kid's all over the place.
Yeah. Coach Aiken definitely spoke greatly about him. So that was 56, who had a nice little pancake out there for the Terriers on for his right guard there. So that was Rummel, the left guard. Nice little handoff here. That went to Connors off the right side there, right off the right guard, right tackle hole. Enough for the first down for Connors. I noticed after he brought the ball back 90 yards, they gave him the series off, so it's nice to see him back out here.
Yeah, I would check in with Patty after the game and check on that conditioning, so you make sure he's getting things done properly. It was
right.
Good for him, though. You can't find a kid that's in better shape that works harder than him.
No.
And, you know, so.
We got 1st and 10 here for the Terriers. 20-yard line. Bazin deep. James behind center. Connors swung out to the outside here. Leaside takes the snap, hands it off to Bazin. Bazin goes off the right side here. Nice little hole created by Lovell and Ernst and Tostrup here on the right side.
Again, these 7-yard carries by Bazin have been punishing at the end.
Absolutely.
You know, but again, the Cosmos, you know, those are tackles.
They're making the tackles and not giving up other than the 90-yard return, they have not given up the big play tonight.
Yeah, Coach Aiken was one of his points of emphasis when I talked to him earlier today was, you know, compete every play and don't give up the big ones. And
I mean, that is twofold though, because now they do have to sit out there and take the brunt of this offensive line time and time again on these long drives, which the Terriers are more than happy to do that. James right up the middle there. Looks like he's kind of got tripped up, slipped a little bit there after a quick gain. Looked like he got enough to get the first down there. Jasinski again on the tackle. He's a nice little player for the Cosmos.
He's done a great job tonight already. Swing pass down there to the 1-yard line. He's in on the tackles.
Had another little catch up here too.
The punts aren't going to be in the paper or on the news on, you know, tomorrow, but you know those punts are perfect. They're where they need to be and how they need to be to keep Bellows Falls from those big plays.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 for the Terriers. Leaside under center here. James, the up man, pitches it out to Bazin on the option there. Bazin just lowers his shoulder and picks up the first down. They had him rightly tackled at about 3 yards short, and he just lowered his head and fell forward.
Yeah,
he teach that from a young age.
Again, I think that, you know, as this game continues to progress and I'm watching Bazin run, I think that's maybe his MO tonight is to feed some of that punishment out, because he's been dishing it out since his first run of the game, and he's not trying to run around anybody tonight.
No, he's not. He's absolutely lowering his head and running through people tonight. It's been a very impressive start for Bazin. So 1st and 10 for the Terriers. Leaside under center. James right behind him with Bazin deep. Connors off to the right. Leaside is going to have a keeper out here to the right side. Wilson manages to force him back inside, but Leaside breaks a tackle, runs right through that arm tackle, picks up another 10, 12 yards after that. What a run by Leaside.
What a great play. Again, you know, he doesn't get to call his number very often, but when he has, he's been very productive with it.
No, absolutely. And he, you know, Wilson from the Cosmos made a nice job turning him inside like you're supposed to do. But then once he was inside, Leaside just ran through the tackle.
Yep.
And that's just impressive. Great job by the kid picking up a good 17, 18 yards. That might be, you know, more than he's combined for his rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, he's, but again, you know, the more you run stuff like that, the more it's going to open up other stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Leaside back under center here, 1st and 10. We're on the Cosmos side of the field at the 39-yard line. Quick little back hitter there to Connors, who's going to be close to the first down again here.
That was a nice little counter play with Brockton Lovell pulling here and taking the end out.
So that was a great play by the Terriers there. Did get enough for the first down. Connors has got to be right around 100 yards as well as Bazin already.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell because they've been slower little chunk plays today, but boy, they've had a lot of them.
They're all forward. You know, that's one thing about Bellows Falls. You continue to see play after play, run after run, is none of these go backwards.
No, only the penalties have sent them backwards today. So we got Leaside lined up under center again with James immediately behind him. The pitch is out to Bazin here on the right side. Bazin's being led out there by Goyette, and he runs right through another guy there at the end and picks up another 2 or 3 yards. He's definitely falling forward on absolutely every contact, and another 15, 16 yards for the kid today.
Yeah, I think this is one of those, again, I just said it a couple minutes ago, you know, one of these nights where, you know, everybody's seen my speed, seen my agility, seen my ability to cut and make moves, and tonight's going to be one of those. If you're willing to take me on, I'm just going to take you on.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, he's just kind of proven he's in every type of back tonight, and he's playing a physical game, and you know, I'm sure if he gets through and can take off for 70, he will. But Leaside under center here, hands it back to Bazin. Bazin with another. Oh my God! Oh my gosh, Nate, that's just absolutely unfair right there. This kid's a sophomore, and he just pulled 2 guys over after, again, initial great job by the line getting him to that second level, but then it was Bazin. Wow, Nate.
You know, we can beat it into the ground all night, but I think he came to make a statement tonight, and that was one of them, Joe.
That was absolutely a statement right there. It's his 3rd score of the game. That puts him up to like 11 or 12 now on the season.
And now, you know, and the unfortunate part is, again, with Springfield really battling and fighting hard, you know, that becomes another one of those, here he comes again, now I'm just going to try to get out of your way.
Yeah. That's going to be directly up the middle to Connors for 2. So again,
holding again on the Terriers.
We have a 2-point, we have another penalty there. So this is also going to take points off the board. So twice tonight, penalties have taken points off the board. 30-0 or not, coaching staff is not pleased.
And they're unnecessary. Chop block on the Terriers, so. Which is a tough thing in high school, you know, sometimes, especially when you have the ability that Bellows Falls has to block guys, and with the IQ they have, when somebody's engaged, you can't, you know, re-engage them at a lower level, right. And that's where your chop block comes in, you know. And
safety is so important at this high school level. These are just kids. You can't have lives ruined from, you know, injuries and stuff at this level. 17-yard line for the 2-point conversion. Leaside under center. See what kind of play they have dialed up for a 17-yard 2-point conversion. It's going to be Leaside back to pass. He swings it out here to Bazin. Bazin's with a full. Oh my gosh! Lowers his head, but does not. But slips and falls at the same time. It's another punishing run by Bazin, but no points resulted this time. So first time they've missed an extra point attempt tonight. They took 2 points off the board with the penalty, so we know they want to clean that up.
Yeah, for sure. But again, just your
slowly
dominant performance. But I can't, again, praise Coach Aiken and his staff and this Cosmos team that, you know, you mentioned in the pre-show that's pretty young.
Yeah.
There's no seniors. They're not giving up over there.
No, they last year they finished 3rd in Division III. They lost in the semifinals to Woodstock. They only have 2 seniors on this team, so they have a solid young core. And Coach Aiken's got consistency. It's his 8th or 9th year over there, so I mean he's got a program the kids are bought into. So I think you're right. I don't think there's going to be any quit from those kids. But to the same point, they got to get some points on the board. And that's getting tougher by the minute for them.
Yeah, and this is, now you're also at a point where some of the passing has worked for Springfield. BF could probably drop a linebacker back into coverage a little bit more. That's
Another
a great
boot by
kickoff.
Joslin. That's
Wow.
going in the end zone. This last one went down to the 10. That one went down, and that one sailed to the 5 and then in. What a great kickoff! What a weapon he is as a kicker.
He is.
I mean, I've spoken about it a lot, and you have too. These kids on this line, they're such athletes they don't stop. Their motors are unbelievable. They're multi-sport kids. Like it's crazy what they can do and how strong and athletic they are on top of it all.
And you're right. I think one of the things that you just mentioned, especially with somebody like Steve Joslin, who's also a very good baseball player. So he works on the hand-eye coordination. He plays basketball. I don't think he's, he gives minutes to the team. He goes out and works hard. He's one of those guys that practices really hard and does productive things. But he's a 3-sport kid, and that's one of the things I think nowadays where, hey, I'm just going to play this. I'm just going to play this and think that you're going to continue to be great at it. It just gets harder.
Wilson with another quick pass out here. Another little quick hitter for the Cosmos here.
I think you'll start to see Bellows Falls drop the coverage back just a little bit. I am surprised with 5 minutes to go in the first half that we really haven't called Connor Perry's name too much tonight.
No, it must be the short passing game is kind of taking him out a little bit because he hasn't really been able to get in there on
The
it.
offensive line for the Cosmos is also doing a nice job. Wilson hasn't been hit a ton except for on some blitzes by the Terriers.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So you do have to give credit to that line because we've called Connor Perry and Joslin's name and Level's name so many times this season defensively that it's really haven't tonight, and that's a credit to that Cosmos offensive line. So Wilson back under center, 2nd and 4 here. Here's Tostrup on the blitz, chasing him down. Also out there was Brockton Lovell giving him a chase. Couldn't quite get him. We got a penalty over there on the pass. I didn't see what happened on the pass. I was watching to see if they were going to sack the quarterback there.
That's probably legal formation on Springfield would be my guess here, based on the timing of the flag.
And where the flag is.
Yeah.
It's in the backfield.
It's one of those where your split end or your receiver doesn't come out and check with the official, and you don't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage.
Good pursuit there by Tostrup and Lovell, trying to chase down Wilson from the backside. Good call, Nate. They're going to decline the penalty here to go to 3rd down and 5.
Which is an interesting call with all their timeouts, and I know it's 30-0, but you still have to play the game, and at this point I would be surprised that
that's a 10-yard penalty.
They didn't move them back and have an opportunity to again have Bazin or someone else on a punt return. I mean, not that you still can't get that, but
a little more time.
Take the penalty and
get a few more yards, push them back a little bit, make it harder for them because 3rd and 4 is certainly manageable with the quick hitters they've done. I would feel pretty confident if I was Springfield right now going into this one.
This may also be one of those, hey, let's test our defense. You guys have given up some plays tonight. It's time for you guys to pin your ears back and make a play.
Yeah, it could be absolutely a challenge call. You're right. Coach Lockerby could be telling the guys to step up here. Terriers are going to go out 3rd and 4. 4 minutes 42 seconds to go here. 30-0. So another dominant performance here. So if it was 83-0 in the first half prior to, adding another 30 to it makes it 113. Is my math correct there?
Cosmos still might have something to say about that, but
they might.
We've talked about this in the games that we've done this year. On that timeout, Joe, the Cosmos go to the sideline for water and hands on knees. The Terriers are over here chewing on the side of their mouth guards, ready for the next play.
Yeah, excited, ready to go. Terriers line up, ready to go 3rd and 4. Wilson back deep to throw. Big pressure there by the Terriers. Ball's going to be thrown up and caught by Jasinski. Oh, a big stiff arm by Jasinski. Gets free from the first guy that pursued him. That's a nice play. Jasinski's caught his 3rd pass of the night. He's got to have a good 40, 50 yards receiving. He's made some nice plays for the Cosmos.
That's a second time tonight that Saul James has been really close to making a tip.
Yep.
I think at this point the coaches are probably going to go, how about you give us the tackle rather than going for the pick?
Or knock it down.
But great effort by James on both of those, being an inch away total
Yep.
on those from having great defensive plays. And
Absolutely.
again,
Right
we haven't
position.
talked about him much this year, but he's done a great job at safety for the Terriers.
Oh, absolutely. He was in the right position. That's going to be a handoff to Martinez. Martinez makes the guy miss and ends up getting up close to the first down there. Slow to get up is Josiah Martinez there at the end. Looks like he's favoring the ankle a little bit. They are giving him the first down there, so 1st and 10. Martinez is trying to walk that off. Must have just spun that ankle a little bit inside there. So 4 minutes on the clock. Boy, the Cosmos have definitely moved the ball tonight. A couple mistakes here or there have really hindered them, but they're not that far from having been in this thing at this point. Wilson with 4 minutes to go, 1st and 10. Martinez is still in there next to him here. Wilson takes the snap. Oh, there's a big pass rush, but he manages to get the ball away.
That's the tackle you're looking for from the Terriers.
That was Reed Hill on the tackle, I believe. Yep.
Still no pressure from the Terriers up front.
No, they're getting it from the outside a little bit, but right up the middle, it's definitely a nice job on the interior of that Springfield line.
And I think that's part of the play calling too. Hey, we're going to let this guy free because that's where your tight end's leaking out.
Yep.
That's where your inside receivers making that 5-yard in route, catching that ball over the middle that we've seen several times so far from them.
It's
that 5-yard little check down right over right where the linebackers are, because that's where the blitz is coming from. And Wilson's done a great job finding those open spots.
Absolutely, he's done a great job. Outside of the one mistake, he's played a nice first half here. Another quick pass. That one's tipped away. I believe Tostrup got his hand on that one as it was swung out to Jasinski. There wasn't a whole lot there as Jaden Bazin had him lined up for the tackle too, but I believe that was Tostrup on the knockdown.
Yeah, Tostrup bats that down, and Jasinski could probably thank Tostrup for batting that down, because that might have been a big hit from Bazin coming, who had him sized up pretty good right there.
He was definitely led right into the tackler. 3rd and 6 here with 2 minutes 56 seconds to go. This is going to be definite 4-down territory for the Cosmos.
If Martinez is healthy with that ankle, again, I see he's out there. This wouldn't be another bad time for one of those quick little draws up the middle they were in last time. I know it's 3rd and 6, but if you can get something to give you a little more manageable 4th and 1, 4th and 2 even, or maybe he gets the first down. But with as much as they've spread him out, that handoff up the middle now has become a very, very good play.
Absolutely. They mix it in from time to time away from the other stuff, and it does work. And we've seen a little success there. I'm not sure how bad the ankle is. Doesn't seem like he's favoring it now, but a quick little hitter, get another first down, and you're moving the right direction. They want to put points on the board before this half ends.
Yeah, there's no doubt, especially as well on some of these possessions that they move the ball. They're definitely going to want to try to put something on the board here. And this is where, again, we're in that 3rd down range again. Last time it was the pass down the sideline to Jasinski, big play. Be curious as to see what Aiken draws up here versus Stooley's defense. Tostrup's been doing a great job with pressure on the backside. Do you fake a blitz here, drop him into coverage? Do you blitz somewhere else?
Yep. And when Bellows Falls has needed a play, they have made it tonight. They've given up some yards, but when it's come down to making a play, they have found that ability to make a play tonight.
Just Bazin on Jasinski here in the slot. We'll see that.
Wilson, this big pressure, big hit right there.
Right there.
Intercepted by Bazin, I believe.
Pressure off the left side by
Tostrup, and I want to say
it was Tostrup and Connor Perry there.
Bazin made the interception, but there was pressure, I want to say, but Jaden Bazin with the interception. Big time pressure there.
Yeah, I mentioned it right before the snap that we had a feeling that might be where they were looking to go. So Jasinski's been a big playmaker for them the whole time, and Bellows Falls making an adjustment to put Bazin on him, but he can cover. He's fast enough, but again, great play like that just to force this turnover.
Pistol formation, handoff goes up to Bazin. Bazin picks up 5 or 6 yards on the first down carry. 2 minutes, 44 seconds to go. The Terriers certainly have enough time to put another score on the board here. 35 is the running clock, Nate?
Yeah.
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 But another impressive performance so far by the offense of the Terriers. Other than a couple of penalties, everything's gone forward. We've seen some passes, a little razzle-dazzle with a couple reverses, and it's been a nice job. Leasai's done a great job controlling the game out there.
Yeah, 2 minutes to go. Again, Bells Falls doesn't seem to be in a hurry at all, so.
Leasai steps back. Big throw here to Goyette. Oh, I think it's going to be incomplete. Just
play
behind
call
him
by
a
the
little
Terriers.
bit.
That's a catch that Goyette probably makes 9.9 times
Oh,
out
yeah.
of 10, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's not happy with himself after dropping one. But he's played a great game, so he shouldn't be too upset with himself. Looks like he might be
Nice job.
favoring his hand a little bit.
Nice job by Leasai to, again, set your feet and make a nice throw.
Absolutely. The Terriers with 2 minutes to go here. It's 3rd down and 3.
A healthy dose of Connors, maybe right here.
Leasai under center. Connors, good call, Nate, off the right guard there.
You know, in high school, the clock stops just long enough to set the chains. Well, it used to. I don't know. It's still running now.
Still running here.
Usually, at least for the down, or maybe now it's the down marker. Once he's set, they kind of wind the clock to not, drag some of these games out. And
Minute and a half to go here in the first half. Terriers line up behind center. Oh, on the 44-yard line of their own 44 here.
I'd go right back to Connors, right this way behind Bazin and Tostrup.
Leasai takes the snap. He's rolling out again. Pass over to Bazin. That one's incomplete. Good throw again by Leasai. He sets his feet and fires a nice ball out there.
Yeah. Again, you don't get to do it a ton. I mean, I'm sure they work on it a ton in practice, but again, you're up 30-0. So these are things that you can try at this point. Not using any timeouts. So Bells Falls playbook is virtually wide open right now. I don't think they're looking to necessarily run the score up, but
let's run some different things and see what we can do.
You can get.
And we practice all these plays, so let's run them all. Connors on the quick hitter back there. Makes the guy miss, finds the outside, breaks it up to about the 40-yard line of the Cosmos. So the minute to go, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Terriers. Just over a minute to go. Another quick explosion there by Connors off the left side, picked up a good 15 yards or so. Another just big explosive play. We've talked about it a lot this season, but these backs provide a lot of explosion out of the backfield.
You get the wide side of the field here. I mean, I wouldn't hesitate to run that option that Bazin's and Leasai have done very well on tonight.
Or even do this rollout again and see if you can hit Goyette again. And this time it's picked off by Wilson. Wilson of the Cosmos picks that one off and is going to bring it back a couple of yards. Good play by Wilson right there to read the play.
He's done really well. He's played a really good ball game all night tonight.
Leasai made a nice throw there, but just it was good coverage on that play.
And it seems like maybe that's just, the same route that Goyette ran the last time where he dropped it.
Yeah.
So I think the safety, Wilson's ability to come over the top on that with the safety help a little bit, it was crucial, obviously, to make the interception. So.
Yep, good play. Yep, Springfield ball with 35 seconds to go here. But Wilson has played a nice game there, both offensively and defensively today for the Cosmos. Quick hitter handoff to Martinez there to probably be the last play of the half. Martinez going to be tackled by, by 55 of the Terriers. It's Garrett Haskell who made the tackle. Nice play by Haskell.
Yeah, with no timeouts, the Cosmos will take this to the half and live to see another day.
Yep.
The score is not indicative of how the game went. A couple of turnovers, but
a couple big turnovers, really.
Kudos to the Cosmos for really playing hard this first half.
Yeah, absolutely competitive first half for the Cosmos. Terriers run off to the baseball field area here with a 30-0 lead in the first half.
I don't think this will be a quiet halftime for them over there tonight, though, Joe. But some mistakes in the passing game, penalties that have forced them into bad field position. I got a feeling the coaching staff for the Terriers, even though it's 30-0, probably isn't overly happy with how they played.
Yeah, I would think you're probably right, Nate. I think there's some stuff to clean up from that first half performance. The Terriers certainly still looking for that perfect game, but maybe coach can motivate them to just clean it up and have that perfect half or come out and do a perfect drive. Because we might see some of the JV group here in the second half get a little more experience just to see what they do. But you definitely can't talk enough about the power that we saw from Jaden Basin in that first half.
Yeah, the power, and then you go to the speed with Connors. I think that's why they gave him the ball even a couple of times there late to see if they could, bust that big one out. But, Coach has done a good job of limiting the big plays for Terriers.
Offensive line's been phenomenal for the Terriers again. Defensively, it'll be nice to get some more interior pressure, which I'm sure they're also talking about over there to try to get some more pressure on Wilson, so he doesn't have quite as much time. They're making plays on him, but I think they'd like to clean up the yardage as well. All right, and with that, we'll be back for the second half of the 113th meeting of this Connecticut River Valley rivalry between the Cosmos and the Terriers.
Volunteers are unpaid and are often the glue that holds a community together and makes it a better place. Even helping out with the smallest of tasks can make a real difference in the lives of people or organizations. Volunteers are passionate, reliable, have a positive attitude, strong work ethic, and are willing to help and organize. That is why, with a great deal of pride, pleasure, and respect, we have Lou Tomber into the Terrier Hall of Fame. There is no doubt that Lou has demonstrated outstanding contributions to the proud Terrier tradition. Lou certainly qualifies under the community member criteria. He was born in Santa Barbara, California, and attended Santa Barbara High School in Long Beach State, where he excelled in basketball and football. In high school and college, Lou played at a level where many fellow teammates went on to play in the NFL and the NBA. While Lou was living in California, he met a local Bellows Falls girl who at the time was working as a nurse in Santa Barbara, Sue Fontaine. They ended up getting married, moving back to Vermont, and raising 3 children, Chris, Kate, and Matthew. After moving back to Bellows Falls, Lou started volunteering and has continued to this day. He started helping out with coaching the Lou. As his children got older, he helped run the meets for the Rockingham swim team for a number of years, went on to coach the Rockingham youth soccer team, was involved in CYO youth basketball, was a president of the Booster Club, commissioner of the Pee Wee Football League, helped out with the KFC annual hoop shoot, worked in the kitchen at the American Legion for Friday Night Feed, helped out at the Bellows Falls Country Club, chaperoned Central and Middle School Okemo ski lessons, cooked for Rockingham Old Home Days, and is now a board member at Park Place, where he has taken on the role of handyman and saved in money instead of having to hire it out. It is with great pleasure that the Terriers induct Lou Tomber into their Hall of Fame. It is an award well deserved. Congratulations, Lou. Let's have a big round of applause for Lou Tomberg and his family, as Lou has been a tremendous contributor over the years. I've had the pleasure of working with Lou years ago in the senior football program, and he is a great guy, has a great wife, and raised some great kids. Lou, congratulations.
right, and welcome back to Hadley Falls Terriers and Springfield Cosmos. 30-0 in the first half. The score doesn't quite speak to how the game was, Nate.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We've Bellows Falls pass defense for the first time has been a little suspect tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
The tackling on the first man to catch the ball or get in the second level. Bellows Falls tackling hasn't been great either in that area. I mean, it is 30-0,
Right.
but Springfield has moved the ball some, so this is kind of a tricky 30-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Springfield probably has 100 or so yards passing the ball up and down the field. I mean, Jasinski's had a nice game receiving the ball. They found some gaps in that Bellows Falls defense, like you spoke of. I know in years past that's been a problem for Bellows Falls. We hadn't really seen it up until tonight for the Terriers. So I'm sure that's something they focus on here in the second half because Springfield's going to come out trying to do the same.
Yeah, Springfield comes out with the ball first. It would be interesting to see how this first possession kind of goes. If it's a 3 and out and Bellows Falls gets the ball back, gets a touchdown, how deflating is that?
Right.
Even in that token, I think if it's a 38-0 game, I think Lockerbie's got to leave his starting defense in there. They've really kind of struggled tonight. Not a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And again, we're saying a lot of negatives towards Bellows Falls, but good for the Cosmos.
Right.
They've battled, they fought really hard, they've worked really hard. The skilled position players that put them in a position to get some points.
They've made
but
some
but
plays.
the offensive line, who has done a really nice job for them tonight.
Right. We've talked about those guys on the offensive side for Bellows Falls. So defensively, they're just as strong and just as athletic. So that interior line of the Cosmos has done a nice job keeping those guys off their quarterback, who's had time to throw the ball outside of a few nicely dialed up blitzes and here and there. But for the most part, Wilson's been kind of free to throw the ball out there for the Cosmos.
Yeah, we talked. I said I don't think there was going to be quiet over in the dugout for the Terriers at halftime, even though the score was 30-0. I wouldn't be surprised to see some more tenacity out of the Bellows Falls defense. In the pregame we talked about, hey, we'll probably say Connor Perry's name 20 times tonight. I think the only time we've mentioned his name is why haven't we talked about Connor Perry tonight? So the Cosmos have done a pretty good job in keeping that, one guy that's been just a menace to every other team off their quarterback, off their running backs, and fighting to make plays out there. So I don't think it was quiet over there. I think that Coach Dooley, Coach Lockerbie, and the rest of the staff probably had a lot to say that wasn't productive, even though it's 30-0.
Yeah. They want them to be better every time out. You want them to keep doing the right things and keep playing better. So they want to execute. And they want to execute flawlessly, and that's their goal, and they didn't do that in the first half. So when they come out defensively and probably with that offense in their first drive, they're probably going to have that first unit out there, and they're going to want to execute cleanly and see everyone do what they're supposed to do. It's been another just absolute show of power and speed from the two running backs, Connors and Bazin. We've seen another absolute masterclass of blocking from that offensive line. The power and strength and athleticism they provide, they never tire out. So that they're going to look to execute here. You just can't speak enough to that job that everyone's been doing, to the coaching staff paying attention to those little details that keep these guys executing that way.
Yeah, and as we've talked about during the game, especially the last touchdown run by Bazin, which was, pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to walk over a couple of defenders. Those punishing hits are going to start to add up. You get the little bit of downtime at halftime. Who's going to come out with the more fire in the second half? Who's going to come out with that, hey, we're really ready to go kind of tenacity? And I would be awfully shocked that if the Terriers come out. If the Terriers come out flat right here, I'd be shocked, Joe.
Absolutely. And I know that, a lot of these kids work out together and they take pride in all the work they put in afterwards, and just some of the strength they all provide should really give them an advantage here as they come into the second half, because like we've talked about, they've delivered some punishing blows to get to this 30-0 lead. So those have got to, Springfield had to be feeling those at halftime.
Yeah.
It gets a little tougher to stand up to that.
Yep, and to stay kind of on course what the Cosmos have done in the first half, if they come out with a little quick play action and try to go deep to, someone down the sideline or get Jasinski open, but go deep. They've made some plays over the top of James and Reed Hill and Goyette a couple of times today. Again, saw really close to making a couple of interceptions. I think that was probably one of the things talked about at halftime was let's make the tackle, they've done all year long, which is hit, wrap, make the tackle on the first guy. We don't need 47 yards. You need 5 yards.
Right. Just like it's the tackling dummy in practice. Wrap it up, take it to the ground. So it's been a great job out here. Cosmos made it an exciting 30-0 game. So we'll see what's up for the second half here as we get ready for the second half kickoff. Terriers line up with Stevie Jocelyn ready to kick off, 30-0.
For the Cosmos.
Cosmos will be looking for some exciting plays on their offense, Nate.
Yeah, it's just something that they're going to have to, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they come right out and try to go deep here.
Another
What
big
an
boot by
unbelievable
Jocelyn. 2 into the end zone today. That's 2 touchbacks. You very rarely see touchbacks in high school. Stevie Jocelyn just showing the athleticism of these offensive linemen again. I remember watching him in basketball last year. He's tremendous for the varsity team as a presence on the low box. Terrific rebound, terrific passer. So he's just an all-around athlete.
Yeah, like I said, three sport guy. I think it's one of the things that kids really kind of need to get back to. Playing one sport all year round and paying travel money and doing travel. Some of those things are great and can help build skill. But to be a 3-sport athlete, everything that you do that works on hand-eye helps you for the next thing.
Yeah, in our era, Nate, it was almost prideful to be on all 3 sports. You almost wanted to. It was a thing that you tried for, and so it is different now with all the travel. So 1st and 10 for the Cosmos on the 30-yard line, or the 20-yard line here. Sorry about that. Wilson in the shotgun. Oh, immediate pressure from the outside. Oh, that's a big hitter though. He hits. That's a big hitter on the first play right off the bat. That's a touchdown for the Cosmos. Number 5 for the Cosmos on the score there. That's an 80-yard touchdown. That's Braden Wheeler with the touchdown there, an 80-yard touchdown pass. Well, Nate, I don't think that's what Coach Lockerbie was coaching up at halftime.
Yeah, I think we kind of just talked about that. I wouldn't be surprised if Wilson comes out and tries to do what they've done and take a deep shot, especially if it's one-on-one, and that's what they got. And
great throw.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked at the Terriers' lack of, again, pressure on the quarterback. But good job by the Cosmos offense.
Terrific throw by Wilson on that deep bomb there. Oh, that one's knocked away over there by Reed Hill on the 2-point conversion.
Nice play by the Terriers, number 16, Reed Hill.
But yeah, before we even really settled in, Nate, we got the Cosmos scoring, so it may not have been in the first half. So the Terriers may still not have done everything in the first half, but didn't take long in the second half for that offense to show that they don't have just quick hits; they can make a big play. See how Coach Lockerbie coaches them up after that. He's not too impressed as they come back from the halftime break to give that up.
Yeah, this has been the MO for years here. The pass defense, and we've really praised the work that the players and coaches have done. Up until this point. Tonight, not so good.
Yeah, been some holes.
And it happens,
Oh, absolutely.
And one thing we haven't really talked about tonight either is, this is a big game. This is a big rivalry game, trophy game, 113 times. The Terriers have Fairhaven coming in here next week. Don't think they haven't thought about that a little bit too, right?
Right. Fairhaven's always a powerhouse. I think they beat them last year in the semifinals of the playoffs at Division II. I think it was Fairhaven knocking them off.
Yeah, Fairhaven came here and absolutely destroyed Bellows Falls in a blowout, which doesn't happen here very often when an opponent can come in here and handle that like they did.
Right. Kickoff for the Cosmos is going to be fumbled a little bit down there by Connors, but he manages to pick it back up. Picks it up at the 25-yard line. He's out to the 37. Big hit over there by the Cosmos. Looks like Jasinski on the tackle there. A little energy coming off the sideline, even though it's 30-6. They're fired up on that Springfield sideline right now.
Very, very impressive right now that the Cosmos have come out with this much energy here to start the second half.
Yeah, no hands on their hips, none of that. Like it could have been very easy to come back from halftime and look at that scoreboard and realize what's coming and not kind of hang your head and not execute.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. They need to. There needs to be a little fire here. The Terriers seemed a little flat to me all night long. Again, the offense has put up 30 points, but not the easy 30.
So as we go here, Lee side 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Connors in motion with James directly behind Lee side. Bazin is the deep back. Bazin will take the handoff here, right side. Off the right side there.
Tanner Thurston.
Hole's going to be opened by Brockton Lovell and Stevie Joslin on the right side there.
2nd and 4 for the Terriers.
Another nice hole there for a quick 6-yard pickup. I guess it's 2nd and 5, so a 5-yard pickup, Nate. Sorry about that. The Terriers, or the Cosmos, could really look to, we've talked about them on offense, they've made some plays, but defensively they really haven't done anything yet.
Again, they're not allowing the big plays. You know, every week we've seen 60, 50, 60, 70-yard touchdown runs, and, you know, it was one of those things that, you know, Coach had said, hey, let's limit these big plays.
Yep, and they definitely have done that. So, I mean, you could look at that as a success. Another 7-8 yard run there for Connors as he picks up the first down. Terriers on their side, on the Cosmos side of the field now. About the 47-yard line here, just outside of the Bellows Falls logo.
I don't think the Terriers will do much different here. Whether you get a, you know, sneak a, you know, 30-31 from James in, but you continue to just use Bays and Connors and, you know, these backs and get the ball. Oh, shotgun.
Little pistol action. Quick header to Bazin. Bazin met by, there's the first play from that defense that goes negative. That was 3 guys in the backfield immediately right there.
Blown up by Martinez and
Jasinski making that play in the backfield. Those are the names we've called for the Cosmos all night on offense. Jasinski bit on defense too, but that's the first time behind the line of scrimmage for the Cosmos.
Yeah, again, first negative play. So, you know, this momentum and the vibe of this place in general, I think, is a little stunned. Terriers fans are quiet. The sideline seems a little quiet. The offense.
Little pitch out here to Bazin. Bazin gets the corner, cuts it back.
Oh,
He
man.
lowers the shoulder and runs over another Cosmo to pick up the first down again. I tell you, he's falling forward. I know when I was coached as a kid that they taught you if you're running the ball, you always want to fall forward, never backwards. And he's been taught that well from, I would guess, every level of football he's played.
Yeah, I would, you know, at this point, with as many punishing blows as he's had, I would like to see Bazin use that juke or that, you know, that speed to just, you know, get one of these to go to the house but
Save a pop.
Cosmo's making the plays. It's a great tackle.
Yep, third and a yard here for the Terriers.
Whether you got run over or not, he didn't get another 15 yards.
Exactly.
Didn't get another 30 yards.
Leasai under center here, 3rd and 1 with James directly behind him. Bazin the deep man. Quick hitter to James. James just bowls over a couple guys there. Ball's on the ground, but they're going to rule him down. Boy, I saw a little bit of the Patriots there for a second. A little extra effort and the ball going on the ground. But he was down before that happened. So
Seems to be something that the Terriers kind of go to in that 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, you know, James to get him that first down and move the chains a little bit.
I'd say he's got a percentage of about 100% of completing that short yardage first down pickup most of the season here. He's been quite successful at it.
Still like to see a little urgency out of the Terriers today.
Yep, 1st and 10 here with Leasai directly behind center. 34-yard line for the Terriers. James directly behind him. It's going to be another one of these option plays. Leasai keeps it and runs over Wilson on his way to pick up 6 yards there. So they took the Bazin pitch away there, but Leasai smartly ran it up there, and he also made a nice little finishing run there. We've seen the most use out of Leasai tonight between throwing the ball and running the ball on the outside. He's done a nice job.
He does a great job. He's again, we've talked about it from, you know, the opening kickoff of the Windsor game, and, you know, it continues to show itself today. You know, you've got to have that leadership in that command, that huddle, and, you know, they trust him. That's what you got to have.
And this is where you just want your guys to finish out these runs, finish out these blocks, use all those weights they lift. You know, they're bench pressing the 300 pounds, 320 pounds. This is where you just want them to finish out these drives and use their power and strength to just get it done. And here's Jaden Bazin doing exactly that, running through 2-3 tackles off the left side. Gets through the initial line on the left guard there, left tackle hole between Cam Perry and Ben Rumnell over there to pick up the first down.
Nice little way to combat the quick touchdown and take some steam out of the Cosmos sails.
Yep.
You know, you come out and turn around with a
Punishing drive.
6-minute drive.
That you're going 3rd down and short every play, and then you're just pounding it up there. And yeah, this is one of those where you're definitely feeling it after the excitement. It's definitely taking the steam out of them a little bit. Handoff goes out to Bazin.
Great
here,
block by James.
Right tackle. Stephen James, the big block. Runs over another guy there. Looks like he ran over number one.
Holding on the Terriers.
Oh, we're going to have another holding penalty here on the Terriers.
Jaden Paul and number 62. And there's a flag on the play. Nice run by Jaden Mason, but it looks like it's coming back with a
Holding penalty on the Terriers.
You know,
It's the third holding tonight, Nate?
And Joe, that was away from the ball. That's on the other side of the offensive line. So, you know, again, when the film comes up, that's one of those plays where you look at it and it's like, okay, look, it's a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes, but you're 15, 16 yards away from the ball. That guy's not making that play.
Right.
There's no reason for you, no need for you to hold anybody away from the ball like that. So it's the unnecessary mistakes that really fluster coaches sometimes.
Especially when you're just looking to play clean. Here they line up in a little pistol formation with Bazin and Connors off to the right. They're going to run a quarterback keeper right out here. Leaside with a terrific run. He picks up a good 10, 12 yards. This is definitely the most usage we've seen out of Leaside tonight. He's got a good 30, 35 yards rushing tonight on the game. With a touchdown, made a couple nice throws. I know we haven't necessarily completed a lot of passes, but he's made some nice throws. He's run the ball, and he definitely leads that offense nicely. He's a nice little quarterback for this team.
Misdirection, I think is what they're kind of looking for out of this. Everybody, if you have your strong side backer, your Mike backer looking at Bazin or Connors every play, and you have guys looking for them every play, those fakes and the ability for Leaside to get the corner, certainly helps the offense.
And he just like the other backs, man, he gets the gap and he's gone. He doesn't hesitate either. Oh, that's a good throw by Lisa. He's got his man deep.
Oh, what a play.
That's, is that Pat Connors? 22?
Pat Connors.
Pat Connors on the reception over there. Great throw by Lisa. We were just talking about that. He's definitely been featured a little bit more this week.
Great play call by the Terriers right there. How many times tonight we've seen Connors go in motion and just, be a decoy, be a blocker, or you've handed it off on the counter to go up the middle.
Right.
And you get a play like that. Now it's, again, opens up a little bit more of your playbook when you get the ball back. Again, now it's, we're going to fake here. Hey, watch Connors. Then you drag somebody out of the box and you hand it to Bazin with one or two less guys in the box.
Lisa is going to roll out to throw the 2-point conversion. It's going to be tipped to the line of scrimmage and knocked down, so it's going to be incomplete there. But definitely nice to see Lisa getting some opportunities to throw the ball. That was a terrific lead pass. He threw it right to the spot like you're taught. You don't throw it to the guy, you throw it to the spot. He executed that flawlessly, and you gotta love it when a team who doesn't throw the ball much, like we've talked about, executes something they don't do all the time.
Yep. Yeah, nice. The play calling ability, helps that out some too. But yeah, great footwork by Lisa. Great throw.
Absolutely, sets the feet, makes a strike. Connors runs right through the ball. Beautiful play. 36-6 here with 5.5 to go in the third quarter. Let's see if Joslin can get his third touchback of the game.
Impressive. The Cosmos have moved guys back to the 5-yard line, which you don't see a lot in high school football around here.
All the credit to Stevie Joslin, though, with absolutely, I'm not sure how many times I've ever seen a high school game have touchback, more than one touchback, so great effort there.
Well, we got a quick second before Joslin kicks off. Congratulations to Lou Tomberg for the Bellows
Absolutely, joining the Hall of Fame.
Falls Hall of Fame at halftime tonight. Great presentation with Paulo Bohoski and Lou's family out there.
Yep.
Amazing community guy, just a true gentleman, really great human being.
Yeah,
Congratulations to Lou Tomberg.
Yep, another member of the Bellows Falls Hall of Fame. Joslin's kickoff this time was caught about the 10-yard line, brought up to the 26-yard line. Yeah, I think I've perhaps played golf with Lou at the Bellows Falls Country Club a few times over the years. I feel like I've run into him a couple times over the years up there.
Yeah, great. Again, giving back so much to this community in so many ways, and now gets to enjoy some grandkids and some free time in his own life. But Lou's been a staple in this community for so long. So we're congratulations to him for sure.
Absolutely. Cosmos come out here, 1st and 10. 5.5 minutes to go, down 36-6. Wilson in the shotgun, looking for that quick hitter again. Oh, that one's right through the hands of his receiver.
Which looks to be very similar to the same play they ran, to get the touchdown earlier.
Yeah, just it took a little longer to develop last time to hit it bigger. This time he tried to hit it quick.
Bellows Falls was going with that was a Barnett, I think, with the blitz up the middle this time. So Sully's trying to switch it up a little bit to see what's going to work and what's not going to work.
Definitely you want to do something to get Wilson off his spot. He likes to, if he gets his feet set, he's delivering a nice ball. So you kind of want to get him moving around. A couple times he's thrown the ball up for grabs as they've made him move off his spot. They've kind of made him shift what he wants to do. So that's what they got to really focus on here.
Look for one of these quick short ones here to one of these.
We got some pressure in the backfield here. That's going to be dropped by Reed Hill.
Pressure in the backfield for the Terriers. I believe that was Garrett Haskell on the pressure for the Terriers. Yep.
Then Reed Hill with the ball slipping through his hands there.
It would have been great for Reed Hill to come back with an interception right there after having a couple mistakes earlier in the game tonight.
Right place there, just didn't quite squeeze the ball. We've called his name a lot this year, but it's been for making the tackle on the outside and stuff like that. So this is the first time, like you've talked about a lot tonight, it's the first time this pass defense has been suspect at all this year. So.
And one of the things for kids, being a coach and working with these young men is, what's his body language, how's his mentality, right? So that completely changes the kid's, mental capacity for your game.
Another throw. That's a great interception by Saul James. Well, they may have talked about tackling, but I guess he didn't listen there. What a great play by James that was. Tostrup got in Wilson's face there and forced the throw a little sooner. But James with a great leaping interception there.
Such a great IQ for as an athlete in general. Again, three-sport kid, but he's been so close to a couple of those tonight. Good for him. What a great play.
Yeah, he absolutely he read that route. He jumped up, made the play with no fear. What a great play. So that'll start the Terriers back with the football here. Looks like Lockerbie is going to go back with the first unit again here, 36-6. Five minutes to go here. Yeah, I think he wants to be clean. I think he wants to see some more clean play out of this group.
Again, 36-6 game, and it's like kind of running in mud tonight.
Yeah,
not for the backs or the line, but like.
No, it just doesn't feel as sharp as it has been. Stephen James makes another. Look at him just run. That's four Cosmos trying to bring him down. He's just a little wrecking ball out there.
Yes.
Little 12-yard gain right there. And it took four guys to bring him down. Somebody's down on the ground. Looks like a Cosmo on the ground.
I think we just had a big pile down there.
I think that's Wilson, who's slow to get up off the bottom of the pile for the Cosmos. That was a very physical run. 36-6, halfway through the third quarter. That's hard to stop once you're a defensive back and he's through there.
Yeah, and the line and the linebackers have taken a lot of shots. Again, I can't credit the Cosmos enough. We continue to say, Bellows Falls hasn't done this, hasn't done that.
They're being forced.
Man, Springfield, nice, good for them for how they've really battled tonight.
Absolutely, there's been no quit on that Cosmos sideline, not one bit. Leasai under center here with the 1st and 10. Hands it off to the deep back, Bazin. Bazin again just lowers the shoulder and falls forward for the first down. Another 12-yard gain. He was stopped a yard short, but he was not a yard short by the time he was gone.
No.
Another terrific job opened up on the offensive line. That was between the left guard and center. So that was Stevie Jocelyn and left guard Rummel over there opening up that hole for Bazin to get through and free him up to the second layer for him to run through the guy at the end to get the first down.
Yeah, I haven't been to the Springfield facilities in a long time, but I hope the cold tub is ready for Wilson for tonight when they get back, or maybe tomorrow morning somebody can open up the locker room for him because that kid's going to need it.
Yeah.
He's laid it all on the line both ways tonight, and he's taken plenty of those low shoulder pad hits from Bazin tonight, but he's worked hard.
He's definitely he's a nice football player for them. They have a nice core over there on that team, knowing that Wilson and Martinez are both juniors there. I mean that's nice knowing for another year. I mean there's some quick players on this team. So we've got 4 minutes to go here. I think the scoreboard says 3rd and 1, but I think the down marker says 2nd. I don't remember which one it is, but it's down and short here.
Yeah. I think it's 2nd.
I think it is 2nd.
Yep.
There we go. Scoreboard's right now. So we'll see what we come up with here for the Terriers. This might be another time for one of those little rollout passes, see if Lisa can connect again.
I give it to number 3. I'm going to go right back to Connors the other way.
Connors makes a man miss, a little stiff arm. Then he rolls over a guy there.
Oh, what a nice run.
I think we're in the end zone. Yep, Pat Connors from 31 yards out scores there.
Terrific little cutback, terrific little inside handoff there.
I think you're starting to see maybe a little bit of that wear, the wear and tear. Plus, you know, maybe eye-opening for the Terriers. Say we come out, let up a 80-yard touchdown pass, a 75-yard touchdown pass to start the second half. We better figure it out.
Right,
you
absolutely.
know,
and I think they did. They came out, the second drive was a lot more aggressive on the defensive end. Again, we see just flawless effort on the offensive line, pushing through and creating holes. Pat Connors just takes that right behind an opened up hole. Lisi throws the 2 points, underthrows Connors there. But yeah, on that quick hitter play, every time you've got Brockton Lovell coming out and clearing out on the pave as he's pulling out. He's taking that end and just pushing him out, and then Connors is coming up on the inside. And then you've got Cam Perry on that side already taking his guy down the field 5 yards. So that's just a terrific play because no matter what, Connors is 7-8 yards down the field before he's got to make a move on a guy. Because you've got Lovell and Perry out there just absolutely decimating people on the outside.
Yeah, this is, you know, we look out here now, we're getting ready for the kickoff, and, you know, we talk about the hands on the hips and, you know, hey, who's tired, who needs a drink, you know, and, you know, you're getting to that point where, you know, this is what Bellows Falls does to everyone.
Oh, absolutely. This is what these kids train for. This is what they lift weights for all summer. This is what they do in the gym. I mean, all that work that you're not 100% sure why you're doing it, this is why you're doing it. You finish these games out stronger than the other team every time. And I mean, I went to a couple preseason practices with these guys, and I've never seen a group with a work ethic quite like they instill in this team here. Everyone works their butt off and supports each other, and it's really a fascinating thing to watch happen, because it's amazing. The coaches are almost secondary at times to what's going on out there. Joslin with another boot. This one's going to be caught about the 10-yard line. Connor Perry misses the tackle down there. Going to be brought out to about the 27-yard line here for the Cosmos.
Yeah, Connor Perry with the flyby right there. I think he was looking to make one of those hits he's so used to making that he hasn't had a ton of tonight. But
yeah, he's definitely likes to get in there and blow things up pretty quickly. And you think he was going for the blow things up there. 1st and 10 here with 2.5 minutes to go. 42-6. So I believe that means we have a running clock now at this point.
we got some subs, defense, a couple of defensive subs for the Terriers. Not all of them, but there are some out there. Which, hey, 42-6, I can understand it. At the same time, I just don't feel like they've
played that clean tonight. Martinez there with a handoff, picks up about 4 yards.
Garrett Haskell with the first initial wrap up at Tostrup right there.
Tostrup's up there, Garrett Haskell's up there. Looks like Connor Perry's still out there. I think Stephen James is still in the middle.
Yeah, it looks like most of the guys out there besides Connors, I think, who's on the sideline right now.
Yeah, I think Joslin and Lovell are on the sidelines for the Terriers' defensive line as well here. Cosmos 2nd and 7 here. Wilson takes the snap deep. Looks like a little, I'm thinking, false start on the offensive line there from what I saw.
Yeah. The Cosmos haven't done a lot of the using the account to their advantage. I would think that, at this point, you're going to have the Terriers, jumping that snap count based on the fact that you've gone on one and been that way the whole time.
Right.
We can see why maybe they don't try it as much as the first time they tried it, they get a false start.
Yeah, they may not be as disciplined on that, and it was just a nice little option. We haven't seen this yet tonight. Pitches it out to Martinez, who I think loses a yard on the play. That's a tough play to run against the Terriers. They don't over pursue the ball. They stay in their lanes pretty well defensively. You're not really going to sneak an option by him too often.
The corners are tough to get.
Absolutely. 75.
Winding down the third quarter. Again, 42-6. Terriers, good running time here now. Be surprised to see, as we can start to see now a little bit, Terriers running some subs in, getting some guys some work.
Tim Fletcher's on the outside left side there for the Terriers, number 75. Pass deep by Wilson. That's a terrific play by Saul James, I think. No, that's not Saul James.
It's Goyette. Goyette with the defense on that play.
With another play. That's been pretty much what we've seen most of the year, outside of a couple times tonight. He's got those hands up, knocked the ball back into play, pretty much read the route like he was running it.
Yeah. In position to make the play you need to make.
So you know that must feel good for him to be, after a couple earlier where it got over his head on one and he missed a tackle on another, you know that one feels good for the kid.
Yeah. Always next play. You can't fix the play that's already gone by. So at that point it's, hey, what can I do in the next play to help my team get better?
And they've always said that for cornerbacks, that you have to have that short-term memory because you can't think about the last one ever. We'll see what the Terriers come out here with the fourth quarter, 42-6. Looks like we're going to have a few more subs out there for this point. A few more of the JV guys getting a little run here.
Yeah, Perry, Haskell still out there.
Saul James, I see.
James. Barnett's still out there, so you got a little bit of a mix.
Jaden Harper's defensive back there with Saul James right now, number 27 for the Terriers.
You got a nice little mix. Good for these guys to get some work in.
We got Colton Colburn over here as the left outside linebacker getting a little run. Briar Barnett in there at the middle linebacker. What's that, 21 next to him? So we got Carter Harper out there as the other middle linebacker. So yeah, a few different faces out there. A few veterans, a few new faces. Running clock here in the fourth quarter, 42-6 for the Terriers. 4th down and 10 for the Cosmos. Deep in their own end, but they got to go for it here.
Hard count by the Cosmos. Fumble.
It's gonna be they're going to declare that a forward pass. I don't know about that.
Good pressure.
Absolutely. Garrett Haskell and Colton Colburn in there on the pressure causing that. Looked like a fumble to me from up here, but they're calling it a forward pass.
It's 4th down anyway, so either way the Terriers are going to take over. So with the Terriers making some substitutions on the defensive side of the ball, it looks like you still have
looks like the number one offense out there.
You still have the first unit offense still on the field for the Terriers.
From here I can see Lisai and Cam Perry's number.
But week after week, these games where these guys don't get to play 4 quarters.
Right.
So it's been one of those. Maybe you still need to get that work and that conditioning wise. Hey, we still need to get some plays in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean they've had those couple of holding penalties. They've been a little sloppier than normal. Briar Barnett gets the carry here. What a run by him. Picked up about 12 yards there, 6-7 of them after contact.
Yeah, hit right at the line of scrimmage.
These Terriers, I tell you what, they don't like going down on the first hit. Looks like Cam Perry is going to come out here. Going to be replaced by Tim Fletcher on the left tackle spot here. Nice little hand for Cam Perry as he came off the field there.
Yeah, that doesn't, we don't say his name a lot. You don't see his name in the paper, but there's a reason why James and Lisai and Connors and Bazin get all these yards. Cam Perry's absolutely outstanding offensive lineman.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, holding on that left side. Going to be a swing out to the right side here. Number 30, that's Connor Perry. Makes a couple guys miss. Gets up to the first down, close to the first down yardage. I think where they got the ball spotted, they're going to give him a first down, which will make it 1st and goal for the Terriers. That was another tough run.
Yeah, great run by Connor Perry right there. Must feel good after, probably a frustrating night for him, defensively. Again, they're probably putting 2 guys on him most of the time as well, because if the Cosmos coaching staff has watched any film, they see that he's an absolute nightmare week after week. So you're probably putting a tight end on his side most of the time anyways.
Absolutely. Terriers made another substitution as Rumrell came out off the left guard spot, and they put in a new left guard here.
I think that's Peyton Haskins, I think, is in the game.
Yep, I believe you're correct. So Leaside under center here with 1st and 9, first and goal essentially. Handoff goes right up the middle to number 21. That's Carter Harper. Carter Harper gets down to about the 1 yard line. Nice little run for Carter Harper, filling in. I believe that's filling in for the fullback role that Stephen James usually is in, or maybe he was in the Connors slot back spot. I couldn't quite tell there. But a terrific little run.
Yeah, you got to think maybe with a touchdown right here for the Terriers that this will be Leasai's last time under center for the Terriers for the night with the touchdown here to polish this drive off.
Been slowly substituting the O-line, one guy per play here as they walk off to a little round of applause. Leasai's going to hand that off to the deep back. That's Briar Barnett in for the score. Barnett's had a nice season for the Terriers when he's got the ball this year.
He's done great. He's done a great job, even defensively. I know we don't say his name a ton, but he is in there constantly making plays.
Absolutely.
At the linebacker position for the Terriers.
So we're going to get to call Cam Perry's name now as he's going to run out to attempt the extra point.
Number 72.
Another one of the athletic linemen here for the Terriers. We've seen Cam Perry make a good fair percentage of these this season. That kick is up, certainly got the distance.
Great kick.
Well through. Well through. That could have been good from another 10, 15 yards.
Yeah.
So that's executed well. We've seen a lot better special teams tonight out of the Terriers, a lot cleaner than we've seen in the past.
Still, you know, and I know you try things when you have a bigger lead, so maybe you try some plays and things, but these 2-point conversions can be very crucial, especially next week when you play, you know, you're going to host probably your biggest rival in the past few years, you know, here at Hadley Field. You know, got you a couple times in the last couple years, knocked you out of the playoffs last year, you know. Those 28, 26 games, 26, 22 games, you know, those 2-point conversions are really huge.
Oh, they absolutely matter. And, you know, they executed early on them. So they did have success, whereas the last game we called, they didn't have quite the amount of success. So it was nice to see a little cleaned up, but you're absolutely right. You get into the Division III playoffs, you get into next week, you need to execute those extra points. And you certainly can't have them taken off the board like they've had 8 taken off tonight.
Yeah.
Stevie Joslin lines back to kick. He's had a great night booting the ball for the Terriers off these kickoffs. That one is going to... I can't tell if it's... I do think it snuck out of bounds. I think I see the flag over there. So it'll give the Cosmos the ball at about the 30-yard line, I believe, 35-yard line. So this is where it does get tough for the Cosmos. They fought hard all night. Now we got a running clock. You know, it's getting the end of the night. It's getting a little late. Things are a little quieter. The reality might be setting in a little bit, but it's definitely a gut check time. This game does matter. You may see these guys again in the Division III state playoffs now that you're both competitive in Division III. So what happens here certainly does matter for Springfield. With Wilson lined up behind center in the shotgun.
But it's good work for Bellows Falls younger guys as well.
Absolutely. I think we got pretty much I think all the starters are out of the lineup at this point. That's going to be an interception by the Terriers. Number 19 of the Terriers, Brody Davignon. Name we haven't called all year. Brody Davignon comes up with the interception there. I tell you what, he played that pass just like he was supposed to. He was right there on the receiver, turned, made the play.
Yeah, that's a nice job by the second group for the Terriers.
I'm not sure who works necessarily with the secondary for the Terriers for their coaching staff, but they certainly do have they understand how to read the ball. They've made a couple plays. They've mistimed the interception play and it's gone for a play on them, but they're pretty much right there in the hip pockets of these guys this year.
Yeah, again, make the tackle you're supposed to make. You know, a catch for 5 yards is a catch for 5 yards. A catch for, not for 19, 20 yards, but great job by Brody to read the pass right there.
Absolutely. Terriers line up 1st and 10. Declan Leaside still in its center. Broken play there. Connor Perry's going to be dropped for a loss. I think Declan Leaside's about the only starter still out there for the Terriers at this point.
Yeah, we thought maybe we'd see Saul James run up under center here this possession, but
Rewarding Leaside with a nice game played, I guess. He's going to stick out there. 6.5 minutes to go. 2nd and 11, so they only lost a yard on that play. Terriers line up 2nd and 11. Leaside under center. Heads to the slot back, that's Briar Barnett. Barnett with another terrific run. Carries another 2 or 3 Cosmos before he can go down. Picks up 6-7 yards there for another, set up a manageable 3rd down for the Terriers here. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. He's a very impressive player. I'm not sure if he's a sophomore, junior on this team, but he's made a lot of plays for the Terriers.
Really nice job, like we said, both sides of the ball, and to come in here and take the reins of the second group and be able to average 6 to 8 yards a carry. It's impressive. Again, nice job by the offensive line up front for the Terriers second unit here. All younger guys, and this is a little bit of what your future is right here.
And I think the Cosmos still have essentially their starting defense out there, so you're still going against their best players. So Leaside under center. That's going to be a pitch out here to Connor Perry. Connor Perry cuts it up. He's going to pick up, maybe a yard or 2. Close to the first down. He did get the first down, so we got 3 on that play. Tough running out of Connor Perry.
Yeah, so this will just take a couple of minutes off the clock, and
Leaside's doing a nice job with this second unit out here.
4:45 to go here in the ball game.
With 4 minutes to go, Joe, we start to see a lot of people heading for the parking lot to get out of here before the traffic leaves. But I want to give a lot of credit to these Cosmos for giving some good effort here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. They have fought hard tonight. You wouldn't know the score is the way it is. They're still hitting hard. That was a big pop on Carter Harper right there.
Yeah. Also, just goes to show, even when everything doesn't function 100% properly the way you want it to, Bellows Falls is just, they're so dynamic in so many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And they definitely execute their game plan week in and week out. Nothing seems to take them out of their game plan. So Leaside lines up here, 2nd down, 6 to go.
And we'll wait for the back judge. We've seen this several times this year
Right.
out of the Terriers offense. The back judge sticks his hand up, and now we have the 10 seconds for the play clock, and we'll let it run down to the last
That's
second.
going to be Barnett with another carry. Carries another Cosmo for a couple of yards and picks up a 1st down. 7, 8, 9 yard carry for Barnett there. Another effective run. Another job done nicely by the secondary offensive line. Can't quite tell from up here, but we still might have Jocelyn and Lovell out there as starting linemen, so it may not be a complete secondary lineup. But they're doing a nice job, the guys they have out there, and Leaside's controlling the second unit. And they're running the ball well. They're playing sharp. This is a good effort by the second group. Leaside waiting on the back judge. Just under 3 minutes to go here, 49-6. So what happens next week, Nate? Who have the Terriers got? What are they looking forward to?
They got a home game with the Fairhaven Slaters. We brought that up a couple of times today, and that's just one of those games where Hadley Field will be packed, and it will be exciting. Both Division II opponent coming to town, but again, one of those teams that's kind of turned into one of the biggest rivals for the Terriers in the past 10 years or so, based on the back and forth that they've had with Bellows Falls going there and winning big games, and Fairhaven coming here and winning big games. And Bellows Falls had to have this circled on the calendar for a long time because the Slaters came here in the playoffs last year and absolutely dominated them in every facet of the game.
Yep.
Absolutely, probably one of the worst losses I've seen at Bellows Falls. Home on this field in a long, long time. So,
So
the Purple Gang's definitely got that circled for next week.
A little extra motivation for this week's practices. Certainly the coaches aren't going to have to get these guys up that were here last year for that game.
Yeah, they don't need any. They know what's at stake playing a team like that. And, Springfield gets an opportunity to play Pulteney next week, Division III opponent. Hopefully healthy. Everybody comes in, rested after the weekend off.
Right.
Like I said,
A couple ice baths.
yeah, you got to get those cold tubs cranking up in Springfield. But
The kids have earned it tonight. They've played a hard game, Nate. They've fought hard. They haven't given up at any point tonight. Definitely credit to Coach Aiken on that. His kids are going to play to the final whistle, and they're going to play hard. Lisi with just over a minute to go under center.
first down here will probably be just, the Terriers could probably take a knee, even though there's timeouts left on the board.
Handoff, it goes up to Connor Perry. Looks like he's going to pick up another first down there for the Terriers. Goes
Maybe
under
one
a minute
more
here.
snap. Should be victory formation for the Terriers here.
The Terriers move to 4-0 on the young season. I think this puts them at 2-0 in Division III, 4-0 in their Mountain Conference. They look every bit of a state champion favorite. Got to be. I mean, we don't see all the teams, Nate, but they've got to be one of the top 5 teams in the state.
You would have to say so. You just to bring up negatives on a team that just scored 50 points.
Right.
It tells you, just how good this team really is.
And
Very impressive.
I know.
It stems from the leadership from Lisi and Tostrup and all those guys.
Absolutely. And I know we tried to make a point tonight to call out a few more of those names that we don't always call out to try to extend what they're doing. But there's so many unsung heroes on this team that just, even in the practice, getting the team ready for these games, that second unit being prepared to come in and perform, but also be that scout team for the varsity team for the week. Everything they do is just to get ready and be ready to execute. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah, we're gonna get ready for next week's game, which again I'm already looking forward to.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a great game for us to be able to call here at Hadley Field. They'll present the trophy to the Terriers again this year for the 15th time in a row, and
15 straight for the Terriers.
pretty impressive.
So that'll wrap it up for us for tonight's game. Final score's 49-6. Bellows Falls over Springfield. Next week we'll bring you the Fairhaven Slaters versus the Bellows Falls Terriers here at Hadley Field. For Nate Haskell, I'm Joe Brooks. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night, everybody.